What were you doing in 1977, Robin? You were pregnant in 1977.
Yes, I was. I was having my son.
Do you remember hearing on the radio? Probably this radio station right here. You probably heard You Light Up My Life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I did.
I was in Los Angeles that year, and I remember hearing the song, too. It was so beautiful. It was a beautiful song. Hold on. Let me see if I got it here. I think I got it right here. She probably hears this a million times. Every interview she hears this. How come I don't hear it?
I don't know what happened to it.
I don't hear it. Oh man! All right,
gosh.
never mind. I've already blown it. I'm starstruck on the phone, and I'm already blown it. Debbie Boone is on the phone. She is coming to our area. She will be in the Villages a week from Friday at 7 p.m. at the Sharon L. Morse Performing Arts Center. She probably doesn't like if I say she's a legend, but in my mind she is. Mm-hmm. She is a Grammy Award-winning recording artist, beautiful lady. Oh my gosh, you saw her recently? She's even more beautiful than she was a young girl. She's part of the Lyrics and Lyricists series in New York, benefiting the 92nd Street Y. Oh! I watched those videos from the 92nd Street Y. Really?
Yes. This is great.
Good morning, Debbie Boone. What an honor. Thank you for being on our show.
Hey, good morning. My pleasure.
I'm so sorry I wasn't able to play You Light Up My Life to introduce you.
I was going to start singing.
There you go. A cappella, we're ready.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles, so it's 7:30, and I thought, I better not.
What were you doing in 1977? You must have been. Your head must have been gigantic. I mean, it must. You really did that song well.
Thank you. Well, it was a pretty crazy time. I was probably the last person on earth that expected anything to happen with that recording. I thought it was going to be just a fun experience of going in the studio and having my first chance to record solo, and that nobody would ever hear it. So I was more shocked than anybody when it started climbing the charts. I was still living at home, and the Boone family was still performing.
So did you perform as a family?
Yeah, we did for many, many years. And when this thing started climbing the charts, we put it in our show. I distinctly remember being at a venue called the Holiday House in Pennsylvania. And that was the first time I stood on the stage and recorded and performed a song that they could hear on the radio.
Really? I was watching a video of you, I guess a year or two ago, and I was wondering about the intimacy of the audiences you have now compared to what you were experiencing in the late 70s. It looks so intimate. It looks beautiful. What you're going to do, by the way, if you've never been to that theater you're going to play in the Villages, it's awesome.
That's what I hear. My dad did it recently, and he had a great experience, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
I met your dad one time. What were we?
Yeah,
we went
the
somewhere.
Silver Springs attraction.
Oh, at Silver Springs. Oh, yeah. Can I tell you what I did? Listen.
Well, yeah, tell me.
All right, listen what I did. I did not have a backstage pass, okay? You're the first person I'm telling this, so I wasn't supposed to go back there. Nobody gave me a pass. All right, so listen, I took the microphone from the radio station and I put that flag on it that said our name, and I stuck the wire in my pocket. It wasn't even attached to any recording device, and I just walked through past the guard like I knew what I was doing. And I just walked past, and then I happened to have a little handheld recorder, but that was, and I got a little interview with your father,
which was wonderful.
Well,
yeah. So
I'm calling the cops right now.
I'm calling the cops.
And your dad was so gracious. He allowed us to take photos of him with the station manager, Tish of WOCA, and Carol English. And they have that picture today hanging up in their office right here. Gosh.
He is the nicest guy you'll ever want to meet, for sure.
Do you ever get tired of singing You Light Up My Life?
You know, the funny thing is, here, seriously now, we're talking, it's the 40th anniversary, so I've sung it a lot of times. I am less tired of it now than in the first couple of years, because it was the only thing that people wanted me to sing.
Is that right? Know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, well, we wanted to sing You Light Up My Life, and if I felt like singing something else, it was like, nope, then we don't want her, and I kind of built up this resentment almost, like I'm not just one song,
Yeah.
But now I sing it, of course, everywhere I go, and I I think it comes with age to be grateful for the things that you've been given instead of resentful that something else has come your way. And so every time I connect with an audience in a song that means something to them, I feel like, what a gift to be able to do this.
Did you look at this particular song as a way to both have a secular song, I guess is what they say, and at the same time a song that expressed a religious faith?
Well, here's the deal. The guy that wrote it didn't have any
Joe Brooks,
ideas.
right?
Yes, Joe Brooks wrote the song for a movie, and it was written as a romantic love song. And I knew that's what it was, but there was something about the lyric that was generic enough that for me, privately, I never thought anybody would know it. I sang it kind of like a prayer. And that just evoked a stronger feeling for me singing it than had I just another love song,
right,
which is another song.
Well,
Yes.
Can I tell you this? I suppose you know this, but the fact that your father was so open about his faith, and the fact that you were his daughter, obviously, I think anybody who was kind of awake enough to understand, we all thought she must be singing to God, even though the rest of the world is thinking she's singing to a boyfriend or something. I think we looked at it that way only because of the name Boone.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that for a lot of people. Joe Brooks himself was not amused by that in any way. He tried to even in interviews. He was kind of a strange fellow. But,
oh, really?
Yeah. In different interviews, he tried to say that I made that up and that it wasn't true. And it's like, what do you know what's going on in my head?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, really, that's crazy. Well, he was disappointed. I remember at the Grammy Awards, I wasn't there, of course. I was watching it on TV, but I remember that year he got a Grammy too, as you did. And he said to the audience, "Every one of you turned this song down." So
Gosh.
he should have been grateful for you.
No, but he wasn't. He thought, it's your lucky day that I came into your life, and that is the truth. I wouldn't deny that. But as far as he was concerned, I had nothing to do with it. And the interesting part of the story, if you don't know it, the soundtrack to the movie "You Light Up My Life" is sung by another singer who is no longer living, named Casey Cizik. She sang for the actress who was Dee Dee Khan.
Oh, right. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a romantic involvement with Casey Cizik, and something went wrong when they were negotiating the deal for her to have this record released. And they took it away from her, and I sang over that same track, and had the hit.
Oh, really?
Oh, my.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is exciting, though. But I don't want to stay on that song, though. You have other songs that have also been part of your career the whole way through. Tell me some of them, and how did they come into your life?
Well, it's been an interesting career, and nobody would look at it and say, "Wow, what a brilliantly thought out career with perfect trajectory." It's been random because after You Light Up My Life, what I didn't understand, I figured, it was, the first record to go 10 weeks number one on the charts, and it was huge, and I was kind of naively thinking, whatever the next song will be, of course it's going to be a hit. But I also didn't get to choose what that next song was going to be. That was out of my hands. And I didn't have that kind of a contract or any power whatsoever. And so they put out another Joe Brooks song because Mike Curb, who was the president of the company that the whole Boone family and me were recording for, told Joe that he could have the next record. And so this, some people liked this song, but not many.
Wow. We might have crossed paths.
Yeah?
In 1977, I was trying to be a songwriter, too. And I was... Do you remember Phil Gernhardt, by chance?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, Phil worked for Curb Records, for Mike Curb. And,
oh my gosh, I'm so bad with names. If I saw a face, I'd probably remember.
Yeah, yes. And I was up there all the time. I was trying to, buy their affections. I'd bring them pizza and I used to do lead sheets. Like they'd have a cassette come in of a song they liked, and they didn't want the singer to be influenced by the writer. So I would be the one who put it into notes and on paper. In other words, yeah. It was $35 a gig. Wasn't bad.
You really have a love for the classics. I mean, you're a singer of the Great American Songbook, and you're on tour with the Reflections of Rosemary.
Well, I'm doing two different things, and when I'm there in Florida, I will be combining that music that I did a tribute to my wonderful mother-in-law, the late Rosemary Clooney. And I will also be doing from my latest CD songs that are really, the whole vibe is 60s Las Vegas. So it's all the American Songbook, but I wanted the next CD to be a really sort of up and fun, exciting music because the music from Reflections of Rosemary, although I'm so proud of it and it's beautiful, was a little bittersweet. You know, I was just ready to do something that evoked a lot more fun. So I'll be doing from both of those CDs.
But that's a good choice, 60s Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's so many great, when you start thinking about what glamorous Vegas in the 60s was all about, you know, you've got Sinatra, you've got Sammy Davis Jr., Barbara Streisand was there, and there's all these great stories that I have to tell from having been there when my dad was headlining at the Sands in the Sahara, and it's a lot of fun. I grew up with Dean Martin's daughter, and there's stories there, and so I'm finding that people are really just enjoying the music that feels like you could have heard it in one of the showrooms at that time.
How do you keep from being jaded and to keep your genuine demeanor? Because sometimes we hear of artists that were children that grew up in famous families, and they are just not very nice at all. But you are very, very genuine.
Well, you don't see me at home. You know, I really, truly believe that's based on a couple of factors. One, I grew up in a really wonderful family environment, and a lot of people don't, and especially a lot of Hollywood, young performers grew up in kind of crazy home lives. I had a very stable, loving home. So I was secure in that. And it's really head-spinning when you have instant success like that. And I often will tell people that I would come home kind of feeling like everybody is jumping and running and trying to please me. And my mother would say, because I still was living at home when that song became a hit, like, you haven't cleaned the cat box in a week. Get up there.
Oh!
You know, and it sort of brings you right back down to earth, you know.
Wow.
So there was that. I had close people who wouldn't have let me get away with it, you know, pretending that I was better than anybody else. And then I truly believe, too, being raised with a strong faith and knowing that you have a responsibility, if you're given the opportunity to in any way influence a life or be a role model, to work hard at being a good one. And that has served me well.
Debby Boone is going to be in our area in the Villages a week from Friday, and go to check out her show. It's going to be at the Sharon L. Morris Performing Arts Center, and that's in the Villages. What can I tell you about that? 1051 Main Street. And your website is your name, debbyboone.com, right?
Yes.
And I found the listing for the Villages, and 2 weeks later, you're going to be in the same place we're heading. You're going to be in the Queensboro Performing Arts Center. We're not going to be at the Performing Arts Center, but we're going to be right near you in Bayside.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I'm going to be with an all-female orchestra there. It's going to be really fun.
How cool is
Oh,
that?
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
See, that's what I like. I like when you go out there and you have real strings and real piano, right?
Me too. Oh, it's so rare.
And all of a sudden, you don't care how many times you've sung that song. It has to lift you, huh?
It's So true. It's so true. There are times, because I'm also now privileged with having inherited all of Rosemary Clooney's charts. And I work with a music director that worked with her. And he has written the most glorious arrangements to all these beautiful songs. So when I get to work with a symphony orchestra, I barely want to sing. I just want to listen.
Right? Well, they can't go everywhere with you, though, huh? They're stuck.
No.
And you also had the opportunity to perform with the Boston Pops.
I did. A thrill, such a thrill. I hope at least one more time in my life I get the pleasure of doing that, because it doesn't get any better. And like I say, these charts are just priceless that she trusted me with. So any chance I get to use them is a happy day for me.
This is a great time in your life, it looks like to me. If every single bio that I found online, by the way, it's almost like you were born in 1977.
Yeah.
You didn't live before 1970. Right? What happened? They don't tell us a whole lot about you before 1977.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's how it goes. You know, when people finally come to the attention of the public, it sort of starts there. But yeah, my dad has written tons of books, and you know, there's lots of pictures floating around from the Boone family show and all of that kind of thing. So you can get back and find. But I'm going to be releasing in the fall, pretty soon, a compilation, sort of a commemorative 3 CD thing for the 40th anniversary of You Light Up My Life, and I'll be releasing along with some of it the Boone Girls stuff that never got heard.
What
nice.
I like about today's music scene that wasn't possible in your dad's era is that we're not dependent anymore on radio. I mean, I work in radio, and of course, I love radio. But I like I like the idea that you can take some songs that have better chord progressions, probably, than a lot of modern songs have, and that's just my opinion. And actually find an audience for them, and not have to depend on radio to deliver that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you better find a way, because it's gotten so much harder to, get radio airplay and even to get record companies to sign you. You know, that nobody wants to take a chance or a shot, or there aren't that many promotion dollars and that kind of thing. So you got to get really creative, and it's a new world where you can provide your music to a lot of people without the help of a company.
Can you tell us a little bit about Debbie Boone before 1977? Can I ask you? I'm going to ask you some questions about your younger days. Okay.
Okay.
What did you? If I saw a home movie of you, and there's probably something out there since your dad was Pep.
Yeah.
So what did we see? Like for example, Robin has a daughter who is works for a veterinarian. If I looked at home movies of her, she's always playing with horses. Mm-hmm. I have a brother who became a mechanic. Old home movies as a little boy showed him always playing with cars. Mm-hmm. So was there anything in your home movies that showed what you wanted to be when you grew up?
The only answer that I could say, my parents nicknamed me Buggy Boone because I was so fascinated with insects. And I would pick up and animals of all kinds. In fact, I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian until I found out how much school I had to go to be one. But I was always picking up, grasshoppers or worms or things like that. And in fact, I have 2 grandkids now, I'm happy to say, and my little 2-year-old is just like I was, and isn't afraid of spiders. And my daughter brought in a shiny, glistening green dead beetle yesterday, and she took it right in her hand.
Oh, neat. See, I love these kinds of stories, yeah. And so, what is it called? An entomologist, somebody who studies bugs? That could have been you.
Yeah.
Yes, it could have been if I had cared about school, which I didn't.
So you could have had a song about. You should do a video based on that. Lightning bugs. You light up my nightstand or something.
You know what? I love. In California, we don't get fireflies. We don't have them here. So
really?
For me, I go right back to my childhood fascination if I'm anywhere where I can see a firefly. And I did a children's book and wrote about them and had songs to accompany. I'm just fascinated by fireflies.
Oh,
I love them.
So you should do it.
Nice.
So could you light up my jar? Would anybody be offended by that?
I might just. Will I see some fireflies? You guys have them, right?
yes, we do. I have fireflies by my place.
Here's the cool thing, Debbie. There's a couple of communities around here that have like no houses at all. So you're like driving through the middle of the woods. If you see
Yeah.
lightning bugs out there, turn off your headlights. You feel like you're in Star Wars.
Yeah,
it feels like
it's
you're in
cool.
Star Wars. Yeah.
See, I would love that. I I need to make amends for the fact how many I killed by keeping them in jars.
You also have graced stages in New York as an actress. I mean, you've done
Yeah.
serious roles like Anna and The King and I. You've done fun roles like Rizzo in Grease. I mean, gosh, you're just absolutely amazing. You run the gamut.
Well, that to me, again, is something to be really grateful for, that I've had such incredible opportunities to have variety in my career. Musical theater was a surprise when it came my way, and I fell in love with it, and I still hope to do more in the years to come, because to me, there's nothing as fun and exciting as a live show where you have a group, which I've bonded with every single cast I've ever worked with, and every night you go out to tell a story, and it's going to be different every night because there are so many moving parts and different people, and it's never the same, and it's always just so exciting and fulfilling. I love musical theater.
Well, I wasn't able to play it, but I bet You Light Up My Life is in everybody's head. You probably
is.
all have a mental thing going on right now. Oh my gosh.
What do they call that? Earworm?
They do.
Yeah.
They call it an earworm if it's from Disney World. If it's
Yeah.
then it's an earworm. I don't think You Light Up My Life qualifies as an earworm. Debbie will be performing in concert Friday, September 8th. It's a week from this Friday at 7 p.m. at the Sharon L. Morse Performing Arts Center. How do we get tickets, Robin? Do you know?
Yes, you go to the Sharon website, thesharon.com. They have prices there. They have a seating chart. You can choose it right online, pay for it there, or they will give you a contact number at the Sharon to call if you prefer to do it that way. And the Sharon will even allow you to come in and look at your seat before you purchase it.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
If you see somebody coming backstage with a wire tucked in his pocket,
Oh, security.
that might be me. Just don't worry about him. It's just me. Don't worry, Debbie. Well, gosh, what an honor. Thank you so much for being on. You were so real. Thank you, Debbie, for being on the show with us today.
Thank you very much. I'm off to a spinning class now.
Oh, nice.
Well, have fun in Florida. Please be careful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. We will be right back.
Did you call Mike Scott Plumbing about the irrigation?
No, but did you know a crocodile can't stick its tongue out? Or that Humpty Dumpty rhyme never actually says he's an egg? Or that Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice?
Where the hell do you come up with these facts? And what's that have to do